Hello, I'm Dean, and this is Dean's N-Scale Trains. It's a sad day today because my railroad, shown behind me, the Conejos Valley Railroad, is about to be torn up. Unfortunately, I need the space and I need the track for my next railroad, the Santa Fe Northern that I'm building. I started the Conejos Valley Railroad about 2.5 years ago, and it's now essentially complete. The only thing I have left to do is to build a bridge, but I'm anxious to get on to my next railroad, the Santa Fe Northern, which is a larger L-shaped railroad. It needs the space, and the Conejos has got to go, I'm afraid. But in this video today, I want to take a step back and summarize the 20 or so videos that I put out on the Conejos Valley Railroad construction. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy what I'm going to show you. So this is the first video in my series in which I developed the track plan shown here. To do that, I used SCARM, Simple Computer Aided Railway Modeling program that you can find at scarm.com. I then developed the location, history, and reason for being there for my model railroad, the Conejos Valley. Here's a map I drew up. My imaginary railroad starts at Antonito, passes through Conejos and Fox Creek, and finally gets to Platoro. Platoro is a real town in southern Colorado, now a ghost town, and its name comes from the two Spanish words, plato, meaning silver, and oro, meaning gold. I next built the table out of 2x4 legs and 1x2 wooden supports, which held 2 inches of styrofoam, on top of which I put 1/8 inch masonite. I then printed out the full-size diagram on computer paper and glued that to the baseboard masonite. My next step was to lay down the track and roadbed. I used Atlas Code 80 N-scale track with number 6 switches and Woodland Scenic roadbed, rubber roadbed. I also cut through the top layer of styrofoam and the 1/8 inch masonite to define the river, as you can see. I then installed caboose ground throws for all the switches that I could reach, and in the rear, for the 2 switches I could not reach, I put in Atlas switch machines and wired them up. At that point, I thoroughly tested out the track by running a train around the line and also backing it into each switched siding. Next, I started building up hills using pieces of styrofoam. Then the styrofoam hills were formed by cutting into them, covered with plaster cloth, and then paint, and then finally ground cover. I then built up a mountain on the right-hand side of the railroad. This was scenic with paint, ground cover, and bits of bushes. I then showed how I colored and installed rock formations made out of hydrocal. I then made the upper and lower rivers and a waterfall using Elmer's glue. For the lower river, I tinted it light blue. Next, I showed how I built 2 stations using 3D modeling techniques. Next, I poured roadways and sidewalks using Woodland Scenic Smooth It material and installed buildings. Most of the buildings came from DPM kits, although some of them I built up using my 3D printer. I lit up some of the buildings using inexpensive LED bulbs. Next, I cut down commercial pine trees to give sizes more realistic for N-scale operation. Here's a nice view of the right side of the layout. To get a list of all the videos I've put out on the construction of this layout, search for Construction of the Conejos Valley Railroad playlist as shown here. And here's the last run of the local freight on the Conejos Valley Railroad.